traditional element of learning that still exists, and with the, I suppose, the change in society and the change in demand over the last decade, we're probably creating graduates for what was around 20 or 30 years ago, not necessarily what is going to happen 10 years in the future. So the gap to me is less about the technical side of things, which I think is well covered, well established, and more about the ability to think and to challenge.
So coming out of university, I never felt that I had any lacking in any technical aspects of my education, but certainly one thing that really was apparent, that when we're dealing with problems, I suppose, in the real world, there's very few problems that are very clearly defined. Often, it's like, oh, this doesn't work, or we need to do this, but it's not a technical solution right away. You need to sort of step back and look at the bigger picture. And I suppose university education sort of not led people to believe, but gave people skills to solve very specific problems.
I then hear statistics, and this will be broad, but that when our girls go to university now, that there's 30 to 40% of the courses they do will be irrelevant when they graduate. And that's a really simple gap that concerns me. So simplistically, how do we close the gap between what students start with wanting to learn at university and what's relevant when they graduate, and just those foundation skills so that when they actually graduate, they're useful, not just technically capable.
For me, it all comes down to understanding. You can only get understanding by talking and listening, more importantly. So to bridge the gap, really just try and understand what they're about and try and offer some different ways of doing things.
I think one thing we could deliver to students is if we went with an actual case study and said, here's what we did in the solution, but here's what actual problems we face. It could be one of the projects we've done in the past, and it just bring students into the whole project life cycle. What was the client's problem, what was our response, and what was the final solution?
So to me, it's kind of wasted effort to try to answer how without actually engaging in a conversation with institutes that are willing to have that conversation with us, and to come up with a way together that can help them achieve what they want to achieve, and likewise us, and in the end do something that's meaningful for students. So I'm really excited about the session that we've got planned with QUT next week, which your group will be part of. And the way that's been posed is, how do we design a different relationship that can work, that satisfies their why and our why.
So I think getting that balance between real world application and really out there blue sky thinking is what's needed to really challenge some of society's norms and to make the world a better place, to improve healthcare, to improve education, to improve sanitary conditions in third world countries where we don't have a lot of money. To be fully integrated, though, there has to be commercial benefit on both sides, because the academic world isn't a charity either. So there has to be some kind of commercial benefit there, and that's where I think the tie-up to perceived eminence on the global stage, perceived innovation on the global stage, might lead to better quality income streams for particular education providers and also for work.
It's almost invigorating the thinking process and adding new ideas that haven't been sort of already shaped by the industry. It just adds that level of differentiation.
But there's lots of ways that I think we can achieve integration. So one of those is around research. We have the potential to incubate and test research ideas through a huge network of projects that we undertake, and universities know how to do research. I think there's the potential for us to to remind ourselves of the amazing experts that we have in the organisation and find a different way to engage them both internally but with universities as well.